honestly, I think this is a good part of the shutdown here. I'm not going to complain about any part of this. Firings of federal workers begin as White House seeks to pressure Democrats in government shutdown.
I keep getting what I voted for.
Yeah, and we actually got confirmation in a court filing of who has been terminated. And keep in mind, these are not furloughs. These are terminations, reduction in force notices that went out today across 7 departments: Commerce, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Housing and Urban Development, Homeland Security, and Treasury. Several thousand employees. What is the downside, guys?
None. I'm so glad my tax dollars aren't paying these freaking dumb midwits to do nothing, man. I'm so glad. If the Democrats are causing the government shutdown, I'm now a Democrat. Whoever's actually behind the shutdown, I identify with that party. So God bless whoever's shutting down the government. I'm so sick of these people, man.
A potential downside would be that it creates a large unemployment sector of people that have government ties that could form a rogue government. This is what happened in Iraq when we ousted the Ba'ath Party. They were
oh my God, you're talking dark stuff over there. Yeah. Man. But these people are, let's say a lot of them are very incapable of doing anything. The reason that they worked in the positions they were doing is because they didn't actually have to do anything. So I don't see them forming a rogue government anytime
Middle-aged Black Brigade.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't. I wouldn't think these people would be the brains of it if there was something forming like a communist revolution. Like you see Antifa as kind of the street soldiers of this movement, this deep, whatever it is, this dark. I think they want a geopolitical technomancy. They want like a communist technocracy that comes out of the World Economic Forum, global control. You know, everybody, if you act out of order, your bank account gets shut down. They want a communist revolution to put this into place, and that these unemployed government people might be roped into that. Think that now at least I have something to live for, because that evil MFer over there in government, you know, blame Donald Trump thing.
I don't think those employees are going to really do shit. I mean,
I think it's even worse. I don't even think they're going to form a counter government. They're all going to form podcasts, and it's going to be it's going to be awful. It's like this nightmare just flooding the zone with just oh no. Maybe we can form some sort of federal jobs program where they can pick up trash or something, just to keep them away from podcasts and mics. It's already bad enough that I have a mic. Do we really need all these bureaucrats with pod? Oh my gosh. LARPing like it's NPR. Yeah.
I back
inside the DMV.
I back Tate.
Literally.
My experience.
I guess getting new jobs would be a good idea. Creating a new industry for whoever. It doesn't really matter what their political alignment is if it's in the technological sector.
Yeah, after Trump, sends the National Guard in, clean Chicago up, there's gonna be a lot of trash left over because people are gonna be throwing stuff. So they could come in with their jumpsuits and their stick with a nail on it and just go to town.
Yeah, look, I mean, Ian, you talk about the liberal economic order and stuff all the time. If you actually are able to dismantle that, you're going to make unemployment. You are going to have to fire these people. If you want the government to shrink and be less involved in your life, you have to fire people. You are going to make unemployment. You can't have one without the other. You can't shrink the government and keep everybody employed at the government.
Well, we all know how this works. It's like these agencies don't want to lose their head count. They will do everything they can. They will make you, the designated stapler of the office just to keep you on the payroll, right? They don't want to reduce the head count. And now this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Take full advantage of it. I mean, personally, look, the biggest problem that I have with the shutdown is the fact that troops aren't being paid. I hate that part. I think we probably universally agree that that's a bad thing. However, there's no reason that Congress can't pass a standalone bill to pay the troops. So that's exactly what should happen. I tried to push the congressman on it last night, and maybe that's something that can happen, but the Senate just went home again, so I'm not sure that's
this literally is a swamp being drained. I mean, the swamp isn't like some CIA spook sitting in an office doing evil shit across the world. I mean, it is, but the swamp majority is that middle-aged black lady making $60K a year doing absolutely nothing. That is the swamp.
You know what
and that's what's being lost right now. So I'm in full support.
What they never talked about when they're drain the swamp is what are we going to do with all the drainage? That's where I'm wondering, where's all this drainage?
Are you referring to these people as drainage?
The drainage, yeah. You see because also what could happen is they get hired by corporations. Ultimately, we live in a corporatocracy right now where Alphabet and Amazon have almost control as if they're their own governments. We don't really, because the U.S. military is stopping that in real time. But, that's the problem with capitalism unchecked, is that corporations get so big they become their own governments. And you saw with the East India Trading Company in the 1600s.
We have the biggest government in history, or at least in American history right now. To call our system capitalism unchecked is just grossly wrong.
No, it's not capital. That's what happens. That's a problem of unchecked capitalism. But the corporatocracy that we have built up around us as a result of this unfettered capitalism in a lot of ways. I'm not saying I
You said it
disagree.
again, though. It's not. If you have all of the regulations and rules that we have, it's not unfettered capitalism. We don't have unfettered capitalism. We don't have laissez-faire capitalism. We have more regulations at this point in history than we have ever had in our entire country's history.
In the United States,
So to
yeah.
say that it's not, like, to say that it's unfettered or that it's not, that it's unchecked, like, that is just totally wrong.
We get our materials from China's slave labor. It's not the United States that's running the show right now. It's this global capitalist, out of control capitalism system that has produced these mega corporations like.
You keep saying out of control, but China has more regulation than we do.
You don't have monopoly controls. You can't because they're multinational. You can't stop.
But China, like, if you don't play by China's rules, and China has more rules than the United States, China kicks you out. Like, when you're in China, there's someone from the Chinese Communist Party that gets an office in your corporate headquarters, so that way they can monitor what you're doing. Like, not saying that, like. I mean, I just don't understand why you're alluding to the idea that our world is like capitalism run loose and it's unfettered and there's no control and there's no regulation. Like, and then you bring up the United States and China, both which have massive amounts of regulation.
Well, compared to 1900, I guess let's compare today to 1900.
1900, there was almost no regulation.
That's where they developed antitrust when they broke up Standard Oil, Rockefeller's Standard Oil. They broke it into like 6 oil companies because he was too. But they can't do it to Alphabet because it's national now. It's international. They can't. The U.S. government can be like, you can't work here if you don't break apart. But it's going to destroy the American economy if we get Google and all these companies out of the U.S. So we are in a corporatocracy. I mean, we live in a corporatocracy.
But there's tons of regulations on all these companies. The reason why Google has all the lawyers and lobbyists that they do is because the government regulates the crap out of them. The idea that there's no regulation. The only argument I have with you is when you say that or implying that it's unfettered capitalism, that it's companies doing whatever they want, and the government has no control, and that they're just raging and doing whatever, and there's no regulation or whatever. That's just downright wrong.
Well, Congress gave up the printing of the monetary supply. They don't control the monetary.
What does that have to do with Alphabet?
It's a private company that controls our monetary supply.
Alphabet?
No, the Federal Reserve.
Okay, but you were talking about Alphabet.
It's another private company that's like serving outside of the prowess of the United States. This is a bit of a tangent. I'm just bringing up potential outcomes of what could happen with these fired employees, that they could go work for a corporation that could get to the point that's like, we're the government now. You want your food delivered? Well, you're going to need our services. I'll change every search algorithm you ever type in the internet. You like your internet? Well, then you serve us. Like Verizon and Apple.
There's so many. You have so many options when it comes to who you're gonna get. Like, if you don't like your internet, go with get a hotspot from T-Mobile or any of the other Wi-Fi companies. You don't like that, go to Starlink. I mean, you've got so many options.
And that's implying that entry level people, what they'll be, are going to start That's implying that they're going to become entry level people in those companies. They're not going to start dictating policy for those companies. I wouldn't think, and that's not a guarantee. And just because they get fired from the government, that doesn't guarantee they're going to go work for Google or DoorDash or whoever. But I think I think your theory is plausible, but I think you're giving way too much credit to just midwit government employees.
Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like either of these are probable. I don't think they are. I just think these are like, what are the possible downsides? Nick, you asked at the beginning of the segment. These are two possible negative outcomes of we empower the corporatocracy or we create a shadow government with all these fired employees.
Yeah, we know for sure what's happening is government employees are being fired. So I think that in itself is a win. And we're talking about potential drawbacks that haven't even happened yet, and that probably won't even happen. So I think just in a risk-reward situation, them being fired from the government is in fact a reward.
Yeah, and any disgruntled bureaucrat that would be competent anyway has already been poached by the private sector for the most part.
Right.
So this is just trimming the fat of people that are just hanging around that have been assigned tasks that are somewhat proprietary knowledge to them. But like I said earlier, any competent people have been poached already. This is just objective. This has happened already. Right when Trump got in, this happened.
Did you catch what jobs were released in the article? They specify?
Not they just now, less than, or maybe it was a little bit over 2 hours ago, they actually released who was, or the departments that lost the employees. I haven't seen anything specific yet, unless something came out since then. But there's a list right there. Department of the Treasury. I'm really hoping those are IRS agents. That would be fantastic. Don't know for sure just yet.
Yeah, it was. I read earlier. It was the Office of Civil Rights and Compliance lost about 75% of their employees to RIS.
Oh, in the IRS?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah! All
that's
right,
why
win. Keep it shut down. Let's do more of the shutdown
The
stuff.
shutdown's great. Everyone's furloughed, so it's like all the patriots are getting a little breather. Like this is great.
They're probably going to use AI to replace these people too, if the functions of what these people were doing.
Yep, and that's great. I mean, I want to ask this honestly: has anybody in this room experienced anything negative so far about the government shutdown? Like personally,
No.
had any? No.
Yeah. I would say, my flight was delayed a little bit while in the air. So me being 300 something pounds was sitting in a little mini economy class chair for a whole extra hour on this freaking flight. But if I was
Because the FAA guys are taking sick days.
Yes. But if I have to waste an hour in the air to get 60,000 government employees fired, I will live in the
Patriot.
That's a man.
That's what
right
it
there.
takes.
Loves his country.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
Thank you.
I also had a delayed flight a few days ago. The plane had hit a bird on the way in, so they were retrofitting. They were fixing the plane, and then the pilots, they were like, "Hey, the pilots have to go home and go to sleep." But I don't know if that's because of the shutdown or not, or if it's just that's their schedule.
What were you going to say, Tate? What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, I'll go back for, a little extra coffee or whatever in the airport if that's what it takes to get these losers. If they, you know what, they can even start a podcast. If they all start one big podcast, just
please stop.
sink it all into one. I can tolerate that.
The government or part, okay?
Yeah, right.
If the government was like,
I'll
"Tate,
suffer a little.
Thank you.
if you got some government, if Christy Nolan was like, Tate, we want to pay you $500,000 a year to keep doing what you're doing, would you take the money?
Yeah.
Wait, that would just be more government bloat.
Hey, government bloat benefits me. I'm in. My problem, I've maintained this position. My problem with corruption is that I'm not
You're not
involved.
benefiting?
I'm not involved.
He's not a small government guy. He's a big government guy.
Big government.
So you're not getting.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.